Good morning, Laura here, and today I want to do a sister demonstration to my sister's demonstration from yesterday. She made really easy, really cheap laundry detergent, and I want to make laundry detergent that's a little bit different and works for different situations. I'm going to make a powdered laundry detergent today. I used to make this laundry detergent because I didn't want to take up all that space. Alyssa touched on me complaining yesterday in her video, if you watched it. I complained about I didn't want to own 10 gallons of laundry detergent at one time. I didn't want to do all that stirring and mixing. And I'm not very strong, like I don't have very much upper body strength. I didn't want to lug a 10-gallon pail anywhere. I don't love doing the 5-gallon pail. So this laundry detergent, this powdered laundry detergent, fits in a wonton soup container. That's what this is. I love wonton soup. I think it cures everything. We ordered that out. We are trying to save our local Chinese restaurant, not because it's in any trouble, but because everything that we love seems to disappear, go out of business. And the Chinese restaurant in town is where Ariel and I had our first date when I was 15 years old and he was 17 years old. So we must save Chatham's Chinese restaurant. Wonton soup. And I get to use the container for my laundry soap. So, one good thing about these detergents is they are low suds. So they're really good to use like at the laundromat because they don't want all your sudsy stuff messing up their machines. And if the laundromat doesn't want your suds, you probably don't want a bunch of suds at home either. Although I personally always thought a bunch of suds meant my clothes were getting cleaner. Maybe that's just, fake news. So powder soap, I put it in a plastic container. My mother was probably cringing right now and crying. She likes pretty painted glass containers. However, someone once said to me, well, I wouldn't want glass where there's water and, the ceramic floor. And I was like, oh my gosh, right. That could really shatter and make a big disaster. So we keep ours in a plastic container. It's reused, so there you go. Let's start. I have a bar of soap. This is not Zote, like Alyssa's. This is not Feld's Naphtha, which is another laundry brand. This is a regular bar of body soap. We have some skin sensitivity issues here at this house. My skin breaks out a lot. When Clara was younger, her skin broke out a lot. Dorothy's skin broke out a lot. So we get the most basic bar soap we can find. Alyssa makes a great bar soap, my sister, and I think you can use I know you can use a homemade bar soap. It's just about convincing her to make me a bar. Alyssa, I want a bar soap. Haha. So we take our bar soap, we take our cheese grater, and on the teeniest little holes, we start shaving our soap. Now, Alyssa yesterday, she used her food processor to shave her soap, and you can do that. There's two reasons why I'm not doing that. One, as I've shared before, I like to do as many things without electricity as possible. When people have the conversation about switching to alternative methods of energy production, one of the things we don't talk about a lot is our crippling dependence on energy. Like, I have solar powers. I use geothermal heat, or solar powers. I don't have solar powers. Don't listen to me. I have solar panels. I have geothermal heat. I walk most places I go because I have a regular old car. I don't go many places. But I feel like we just need to be aware and take some responsibility for how much power we let ourselves use. The other reason I'm not using my food processor is because I lost the grater attachment to it. So everything I previously said, just a couple seconds ago up on my high eco horse, also maybe might be different if I still had the greater attachment to my food processor. But my food processor, I mentioned before, was a gift from Ariel from before we were married, and we've moved, gosh, how many houses have we lived in? 4 houses. It got lost in the sauce. There's no grating attachment anymore, but I don't want to get a new food processor because that seems more wasteful. And look, that didn't take so long to do it by hand, right? That's okay. And look, we got a nice pile. Here, excuse me. We got a nice pile of white soap. Just bar soap that you would use on your body, which, you know, is something to think about. Do you want to be putting stuff on your clothes that you wouldn't put on your body? And then do you want to be putting stuff on your body that you wouldn't put in your body? That's why I would really like to have Alyssa make me some bar soap. Now, Alyssa's bar soaps are really beautiful, so I wouldn't ask her really to make me like one of her pretty soaps. What I just want is for her to make me some like basic square. You know, listen to me. What I should be saying, you know, teach a man to fish. I want Alyssa to teach me how to make soap because I don't know how. And then I'll know that the ingredients are things that I would put in my body. And I think, as I was saying, you shouldn't put stuff on your body that you're not going to put in your body, and you shouldn't put stuff on your clothes that you wouldn't wash yourself with. Put outside your body. Okay, so I got all of my soapy dust. Now, we have 2 more ingredients. 1 bar of soap, 1 cup of borax, and 1 cup of super washing powder. Oh, wow, my box is old. It's coming apart. Okay, so 1 cup. And 1 cup. We had exactly 1 cup left in this box. Okay, I'm going to put my cap on. We are going to shake it up until it's mixed all the way through. Okay, so when you're doing laundry with this, you only add 2 tablespoons of this detergent to each wash. That's it. This is, you know, this is it. It's so easy. If you're not super strong, like I'm not super strong, you can lift this around. This takes up a tiny amount of space in your laundry room. You can put it in a little bag and bring it to the laundromat. You can put 2 tablespoons in a little plastic baggie, and you can make all your neighbors think that you're smuggling some Coke into the laundromat. Why not? Stir up the neighborhood. It's always fun. This is just, it's so easy. Here is my problem with it. Because full disclosure, I have a problem with it. I loved this when I had a regular washing machine with regular water. I used this and my life was good. And then my half-assed hippie self bought a front-loading, high-efficiency washing machine. What does that mean? It doesn't use a lot of water. And when it doesn't use a lot of water, I felt like this was not dissolving well. So I have a solution for that too, because I still don't want to store that enormous container of laundry detergent. What I do is I take my 2 tablespoons for my high efficiency. I take my 2 tablespoons and I put it in a cup of hot boiling water. And I stir it up until it is dissolved in the hot boiling water, and then I add that to my washing machine. If you still are lucky enough to have a full water washing machine, may the force be with you. You can just use this straight as is. But if you don't, if you thought you were Captain Planet and bought an HE washing machine, especially a front-loading one, you're going to want to dissolve this first in just a little bit of hot water. If you're a tea drinker like myself, you always have hot water on hand, so just do that. Other things to think about when washing clothes is treating your stains before you put it in the washing machine. My grandma taught me, she was on dialysis for the last bit of her life, and her dialysis port would, bleed a lot, and so she'd get blood all over her clothes. And so she told me that you could put hydrogen peroxide on those stains and they came right out. And they do. And so I started putting hydrogen peroxide on all of our stains, and almost all of them come out. It's awesome. It's like a miracle. This is just the same hydrogen peroxide, that you buy at the drugstore, which is plentiful now because everyone's into rubbing alcohol. So you can get your hydrogen peroxide, pour it on your clothes, you're good. Another thing is to think about is fabric softener. Homemade fabric softener, natural fabric softener, is simply white vinegar. I don't use it often because I didn't use chemical fabric softener. So I never got into using the vinegar, but I know people who swear by it. Another thing a friend of mine talked about, and I read it in not an actual Little House on the Prairie book, but it was a continuation. Another author picked up the series and wrote about this. And my daughter and I are reading this book right now. My daughter Dorothy, we read all the Little House, and so we're doing Little Town in Brookfield, Dot? What is it?
It's Little House in Brookfield.
Little House in Brookfield. We're reading that right now. And the mother puts ammonia in her wash, and I have to say, I've done that a few times. And I do like the way the clothes come out with a little bit of ammonia. Ammonia is a nice old-fashioned cleaner. I know our bodies make ammonia. If someone wants to put in the comments what the difference between the ammonia we make and the ammonia we buy, what that is, I'm always happy to learn something new. So there you go. If you're not feeling up to making a big boiling pot of Alyssa soap, you can make a little tiny plastic jar of light Laura soap. All right? You take care. Enjoy your day.